Hi everybody. A very good evening to you. Here I am at my desk. My laptop is open, so this is quite nice light. I'm recording on my phone, but the phone has been damaged. It's been repaired. It's had the second repair on it. So the actual lens is a little bit, not 100% clear. Anyway, it's not one of those filters. I decided, as I was sitting here at my desk writing out envelopes and, you know, getting all the post ready for tomorrow, so I've got about between 20 and 30 there to post, because I'm working my way down through the list of pre-orders. I've decided to take the books that are destined for Australia and New Zealand up into Northern Ireland, which is part of the UK, and get them posted. And yeah, I'm going to be massively out of pocket, but I've reached the point where I really don't understand why there are no flights going out to Australia and New Zealand, because there's flights going from the UK, and I'm sure there could be some kind of thing worked out between the Irish Postal Service and the UK Postal Service to get the mail out there, you know. There must be a huge backlog here in Ireland of people needing to post things out to Australia and New Zealand. But anyway, I'm going to spend the extra couple of €100, which I'm sure it'll cost me, maybe more, I don't know, but I actually don't care at this point. I think people have waited long enough. I'm going to get that posted off this week. Okay. In the meantime, my book, I'm going to read you a little bit. I'll start with the introduction. Okay, here we go. So, Walking Between Worlds. Introduction. This book represents a journey into the world of Ireland's magical people, the Sidhe. I refer to them as people, for we have never ceased to regard them as such. Beings with feelings, culture, language and emotions. Stories have recorded their interactions with the human world across time, and much of what they have bequeathed to us can be found in the landscape of Ireland. Fairy forts, raths, mounds, standing stones and ancient burial sites all have been attributed in one way or another to those we call the Sidhe. There are certain aspects of the world of the Sidhe or fairy that we are familiar with, the foremost being the world they inhabit. Nature in all of her wildness, beauty and mystery. It is no surprise that as empires rise, nature is besieged and crushed. Such is the story of the other world and its inhabitants, the Sidhe. The history of Ireland spans countless millennia, moving from recorded historical events back into the mists of time, interwoven into place names and memory, poetry, music and stories. It is the stories that have never been forgotten, being retold down through the generations that moved inexorably into recorded history. Due to the very nature and importance of storytelling in Ireland, it is difficult to pinpoint an exact historical era as the time when fairy lore began. The mythological cycle gives us an outline of events. However, the stories themselves all point towards the time when a mysterious race of beautiful and talented beings first appeared in the west of Ireland. This race of extraordinary people has presented something of an enigma. Where did they come from? Why did they look so different? They were called the Shining Ones by the first people who witnessed their arrival. And why, as the story goes, did they burn their boats? Then we move on through battles, settlements, and the ushering in of the Bronze Age to the final defeat of this tribe of people known as the Tuatha De Danann, the people of the goddess Danu. It is from this point that the first stories of the people of the Sidhe appear. Superstitions that abound to this day gain hold in the memory of the Irish. The mounds, monuments, raths and forts into which the De Danann retreated became sacred places where humans feared to go. The magic they held was too powerful. It was acknowledged that there was a protective yet invisible force of energy that surrounded them. Too powerful even for the advancing tide of Christianity, which tried again and again to demonize the Shining Ones, the people of the Sidhe, the fairy folk, referring to them as fallen angels. Clearly the belief in the Sidhe is part of the pre-Christian religion which survived for thousands of years and which has never been completely wiped out from the minds of the people. This was in spite of the new religion's attempt to undermine them, preaching that the fairies were a group of fallen angels who had repented after being cast out of heaven just in time before they reached hell. So they were partly restored by God and allowed to take up residence below the earth. St. Patrick was said to have pronounced that the Sidhe would not be allowed into heaven. Despite this continued affirmation from the new religion that the Sidhe were to be ignored and forgotten, the hold that the Tuatha De Danann had on the Celtic consciousness was so powerful that the new religion of Christianity, notwithstanding its persistence, could not influence the people away from their beliefs. In the colloquy of the ancients, a dialogue which supposedly took place between St. Patrick and the ghost of Caillte of the tribe of the Fianna, Patrick is amazed to see a fairy woman coming out of the cave of Croghan in County Roscommon, wearing a soft green mantle with a crown of gold on her head. Whereas the fairy woman is young and beautiful, Caillte himself is old and withered. When Patrick inquires of this, Caillte tells him, "She is of the Tuatha De Danann, who are unfading, and I am of the sons of Mill, who are perishable and fade away." That's just part of the introduction. So below every video that I post is a link to my website where you can buy the book and the other books, of course. And this particular book, Walking Between Worlds, has been the product of living here on this land for 16 years, and it represents a journey, not just of the journey with the land, but the journey towards, I suppose it could be called a higher consciousness, or maybe a freer consciousness. in that I am very, very aware now that what we see and how we live is very managed. And it's not managed by us, it's managed by all kinds of forces in this world, on this beautiful planet, that have no love for this planet. So walking between worlds goes a little way in articulating that journey, but also represents, from my perspective, the story of the She or the fairy folk, the people of the mind, our ancestors, who have never left, who have never died. They are spoken of as being immortal, and immortal they really are. Blessings to you all.